Hi, and welcome to week 4 and a discussion on building a brand in 2020. There are more challenges in building an effective brand now than there were 10 years ago. Achieving consumers' mindshare is not enough in creating an effective brand. Having a clear sense of purpose about the broader role a brand plays in people's lives and society is now more important. In the past, building your brand's identity with a competitive brand positioning strategy and compelling brand personality created the essence of the brand. Consistent use of a brand name, logo, selling strategies, promotion, communications provided a brand identity that helped in creating mindshare. However, this does not go far enough in creating a sustainable and iconic brand that companies are attempting to achieve in today's digital marketplace. Creating value is important, but it must be connected to the culture of the consumer. Today, social media binds together communities that were once geographically isolated. This greatly increases the pace and intensity of collaboration. As Douglas Holt revealed in his Harvard Business Review article, social media has transformed how culture works. Digital crowds have become powerful cultural innovators, a new community of buyer personas he calls crowd culture. This new movement has deflated conventional branding models, and now brands must collaborate with these new crowd cultures and champion their ideologies in the marketplace. The brand must become part of the soul or DNA of that culture. So how does this new crowd culture affect how we look at branding? We must not only look at the traditional areas of creating a clear and compelling brand through our product offerings, strategic positioning, and brand personality, but we must also ensure that the brand is in the collaboration with our target market or these culture-created buyer personas. The company's and brand's vision, values, and purpose must be connected to the consumer. For the consumer's perspective, the brand must be simple to understand, engaging, and motivate them to make a purchase. The brand must also be ownable by the company to minimize the ease of competitor duplication. In the past, creating a compelling brand execution strategy was enough to create mindshare within the target market. Optimizing the marketing mix was key to brand success. You needed to create a clear and compelling unique selling proposition, position your product strategically in the market, and create a personality that resonated with your consumer. But putting these brand identifiers in place today is not enough to ensure that the brand becomes meaningful to the consumer. To be successful branding today, you must create a scenario designed to generate cultural relevance. And this can only be done by the brand perception identifiers, the company, popular culture, influencers, and the customers themselves when experiencing the product and creating a perceptual framework that begins to establish the brand. To be effective, companies need to stop telling what they do, but start talking in the language of the customer and telling them how they solve their problem and how it's supposed to make them feel. Effective brands don't use features when describing the brand, they use emotional benefits. I'll explain in a minute how Coke and Lululemon are good examples. I've even provided a short video as an attachment to this discussion to describe the emotional branding that has made Coke one of the top valued brands in the world. When completing your serial project for this week, you're going to need to clearly define your product's brand strategy. First, identify the problem you're solving, and then define the target market or buyer persona that's interested in having that problem solved. Describe what makes your product unique and why. To help you define your product brand positioning, I provided you last week with a template that helps you answer the questions important to differentiating your product. This creates your unique selling proposition. This week, to complete your brand strategy, you need to add your brand's personality. The brand's personality helps create a connection with your target market. Your product or service must have a brand personality that resonates with your target to build this strong bond with your brand. Here's a list of the possible brand personalities you can choose for your product. The brand's personality is important when developing your marketing communication strategy. It's going to help you define your copy tonality, your fonts, your colors, and even the music you select in your promotional execution. As earlier identified, Coke is a top brand and has created a strong emotional bond with its customers. A great example of how Coke forgot about this connection of their brand was when they decided to change their product formula. In 1985, Coke launched the development of a new taste for Coca-Cola, the first change in the formulation in 99 years. This change was to compete with Pepsi's sweeter tasting soda and their decline in market share to Pepsi. In blind taste tests, people loved the new Coke, but it soon became clear when reviewing their test data, with their actual customer perceptions, that the wider public, had a deep emotional attachment to the original, and they pleaded for a return to the traditional formula. Coca-Cola listened, and the original product was returned to the market as Coca-Cola Classic, and then subsequently they dropped the new Coke formula and the name altogether. One of the primary changes in creating an iconic brand in 2020 is to understand how to drive influencers in the marketplace and effectively manage customer feedback and reviews. Proactive and targeted communications are important in building strong cultures and maintaining the popularity of your brand. Lululemon is a great example of how this works in today's marketplace. Instead of going into the gauntlet with the other sports techs like Nike and Under Armour, Lululemon invented a new category combining functionality of workout clothing and a premium look and feel of streetwear. The athleisure category was born, and they were the first to take it on, differentiating themselves from the competition. Another win in building their brand was that Lululemon nailed it with their target market and buyer personas. They even gave them a name. Ocean, a 32-year-old successful businesswoman who owns a condo, is in top shape, embraces the modern yoga lifestyle. And Duke was the male version. Lululemon then implemented key strategies that were not normal in the clothing retailer marketplace and could effectively build their brand that connected with their target market and crowd culture. First, they provided one of the most memorable retail experiences with a staff that felt more like your yoga or gym buddies than a store clerk. The Lululemon employees will happily talk to you more about your yoga and goal setting than they will about the products. And Lululemon also provides incentives for their employees to get out into the community and participate in classes at local yoga studios and gyms. The secret sauce to building and connecting with their crowd culture is their ambassador program. Influencer marketing is one of the most successful strategies for exponential growth. Lululemon invented its own ambassador program by leveraging local fitness and yoga coaches for promoting Lulu's products while helping them grow their business at the same time. And finally, Lululemon customers are always eager to reuse and show off their inspirational poster-themed shopping bags that they received with every purchase. These bags may cost more, but clearly build and promote the Lululemon message and brand personality. So as stated earlier, to be successful, Lululemon is selling emotion, happiness, and joy, and feeling good about yourself. And when companies keep their eye on that in more focused way and less on the features of their products, their chances of being a successful brand improve dramatically. Lululemon has always been a brand that connects their products with the values that inspire their customers. People buy Lululemon because they agree with the values that Lululemon embodies and expresses. The true definition of a successful brand in 2020. So branding in 2020 is not only about developing a product and compelling branding strategy, but also creating a connection with your customer and the crowd culture that defines your market. So next week, I'm going to talk about how you can take your brand strategy and create a consistent and compelling marketing message. We'll begin to look at how to create an effective and profitable promotion strategy that connects with your target. So have a great week and good luck as you begin creating your brand strategy for your breakfast cereal product.